Although my kids always ask, "Can we light our own menorahs?" I'm like, they make them at school, but we can't use them. So I always tell them, "We'll light yours in the daytime." That's what we do. We nighttime only the family menorah. Huh?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Gives them that idea.
Sure. Okay. Couple of lessons about the parasha, and then I want to finish off with something nice about Chanukah. We start off the parasha. Coffee in a shiur. I'm literally the only person drinking coffee here. Okay. Okay. L'chaim. Cheers, L'chaim. Okay. We know that in this parasha, Yaakov, he loves Yosef. Yosef HaSadik, his brothers hated him, and they sold him down to Egypt. And Yaakov was terribly emotional and sad about this. He loved him. Ben Zikunim Hulo. Ben Zikunim. I had one of the ladies ask me, as she said, "What do you mean Ben Zikunim?" Ben Zikunim means this is the kid of your oldest age. But Binyamin he had when he was older than Yosef. I said, "No, you're not reading Rashi." By the way, that's 90% of the answers to any of the questions. You're not reading Rashi. Ben Zikunim doesn't mean the kid of your oldest age. Targum Unkilo says Ben Hakim, the wise son. He was a special kid. Yosef was special. Yosef he went on to be the viceroy of Egypt. This is like future star written all over him. The second he was born, he's like a future Hall of Famer, Yosef. And he lost him. He knew it. They both knew it. And he lost him. And he's crying. He refused to be consoled. He was crying so much. Very simple question they ask. Yaakov, one of the reasons why he was crying so much, besides for losing his son, he was supposed to have Shiftei, the 12 tribes. I had 12 and I just lost one. Now I'm down to 11. If I'm not the guy to have 12, who's going to have 12? Maybe one of my kids, Oven, will have 12. I thought it was me that's going to have 12. Now Yishmael already had 12. So Yishmael beat us to it. He has 12, as it says straight out in the parasha last week. And where's the Jewish 12? Where's our 12? I thought it was me. And so it killed him. I only have 11. And so they asked a very simple question. Yaakov, you're very good at this multiple wives thing. You had 4 wives. Get a 5th one. Have a 12th child again. Try again. Why didn't he do that? It's a very easy answer. Akiva, why didn't he do it? You lost 12, you lost it. Have another one. Rachel is dead. Right? Leah was dead. That's 2. Bilhan and Zilpah were not even full. I don't even know, full wives. So get married again. But you lost the 12 tribes. You lost the 12. Have another one. But he lost it.
But he's not sure
that could be one reason. In his heart.
No, he said.
He was watching the thing. Yeah. He refused to be consoled. That's what they say, right? It's a very famous pshat because you can't be consoled if the person is not really dead. It's impossible. The neshama won't forget the person unless they're really dead. So it could be. But on a very basic level, why not get married? A very basic answer, guys. Very basic answer. Why not get married? It's very simple. Last week's parasha, actually Parashat Vayeshev, at the end of Vayeshev, when he parted ways with his father-in-law Lavan, they piled a bunch of stones on the floor, and what they say to each other? They made a treaty. What was the deal? Im te'anet benotai, v'im tikach nashim benotai. He swore, I will not marry any more wives. This is straight Bible, guys. This is not Rashi. Go back to the end of Vayeshev. When he made a deal with Lavan, Lavan said, I won't hurt you, but as part of the deal, no more wives. Im tikach nashim benotai. No more wives. So he promised him. He swore to him that he won't marry another wife. So now he's stuck.
Why did Lavan want such a thing?
That's a great question, but let's leave that for now. Lavan made him swear, so he had an oath. So he's stuck. He wants his 12th child, and he lost it, and he can't marry anybody else. And so what did he decide to do? Maybe break the oath. I think it's a good reason. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Break the oath. I can't break the oath. I promised. Titen emet Yaakov, even though all the crooked stuff. Truthful. I can't break the oath. If it means that I'm not the founder of Klal Yisrael, so be it. You promised the crook. You promised he wouldn't keep his. Did he keep his promise? No, he didn't keep it. Bilam comes across the same pile of rocks. Bilam, which was either Lavan himself or his grandkid. He came from Lavan. Yonatan ben Uziel says he was Lavan. Either Lavan, his kid, his grandkid. Bilam, when he comes on the donkey, and his donkey's pressing his, what does it say in the parasha? He's pressing his feet against the rock wall. What rock wall? This rock wall. The rock wall that Lavan, his grandpa, piled up saying, don't ever cross here to hurt the Jews. And he broke his deal. And so you break your deal. No. I promised the crook that I won't. Why? Greater to make a Kiddush Hashem, that they should say the Jewish people live with ethics, than to have Klal Yisrael. Let someone else have the 12 tribes. We actually see the reverse of this story happen in history. You know where? In Nach, the reverse of this story, with King Tzidkiyahu. The King Tzidkiyahu says in the Gemara Nedarim, he was Tzidkiyahu. He was around the circles of Nebuchadnezzar, terrible leader of the non-Jews. And he saw Nebuchadnezzar, as soon as I say these words, some people are going to know it. He saw Nebuchadnezzar eating a live rabbit, the Gemara says. Also, Midrash Echa says this. He sees him eating a live rabbit. And Nebuchadnezzar looks at him, he says, uh-oh, he got caught. He sees Tzidkiyahu is looking at him. He says, swear to me you'll never tell anyone what you saw. He said, I swear to you. The Gemara says he went back and he got sick from the secret. The Gemara Nedarim says this. He got sick from the secret. He couldn't handle it. And so he went to the rabbis and he said, I have to tell you something about this terrible guy. I want to tell you just how brutal and bad this enemy is. He knew something about the enemy that he wanted to share. And Nebuchadnezzar would end up destroying us. And he wanted to tell the rabbis, just how bad this guy was. He eats live food, live animals. But I swore that I wouldn't, but I have to. And so he went to the rabbis and they annulled the vow. Gemara Nedarim, Gemara says, page 65. It says in the book of Chronicles 2, the pasuk says, Tzidkiyahu v'gam ba'melech Nebuchadnezzar marad asher ishpi'o b'Elohim. He rebelled against the king Nebuchadnezzar that he swore to. It's a straight up pasuk in Chronicles. The pasuk is in Chronicles 2, chapter 36, pasuk 13. He swore. What was the swear? And the man says, "My madute." What was his vow? What was his rebellion? He saw that he was eating a rabbit, and he said, "Swear to me." He got so sick from it. He did hatara. What happens after that? Nebuchadnezzar starts hearing people saying, "Oh, you're the guy that eats a live rabbit." He says, "What? The secret got out?" He summons the Sanhedrin, all the Sanhedrin, the leaders of the Jewish people, the biggest rabbis. He summons the Sanhedrin, and he sits them on gold chairs because they're the chief rabbis. And he asks them a question. He says, "Read me some Torah." Now, what I'm saying now is not the Gemara, it's in the Midrash Echa, because this story is in two places. They start reading him Torah all the way from the beginning. He says, keep reading until they get to the chapter that deals with oaths, with swearing. And then he says, swearing. You can't break a swear. Are you allowed to do hatara? Can you annul a swear? He said, you could annul a swear as long as the party is there. The person you swore to has to be with you in court. He said, really? And how did it get out that I eat rabbits? You annulled his swear. They said, he came to us and we annulled his swear. Without me there, without you there. He took the chairs away, he sat them on the floor, the Gemara says, and then the Midrash says, his soldiers came with horses, and he tied them to the tails of the horses, and he dragged them until they were dead throughout the city. And so we see Kiddush Hashem, Hilul Hashem, the results that happen. And so Yaakov Avinu has the foresight They say, I can't break my oath. If it means I lose 12 Shivatim, I lose the 12 Shivatim. And this is the ethics of Yaakov Avinu. Unbelievable insight when you think about it.
Right?
Huh?
That's the reason. One of the reasons he's a man.
That's one of the risks. If he's dead, I lose it. But I'm not breaking my deal. I won't do it. So, yeah.
Interesting that would likely cause questionhoods, like why did I don't know, for us or whoever, or other people, like, but what about the like taking the soup? We're trading soup,
Yeah,
and you're
so-
like about to die.
So, yeah, that's
How
what.
come that we don't like
So,
focus on that?
this is the biggest question Anne asked the last week. Yaakov is the truthful one, and he's always shrouded in untruth. And it's just an unbelievable mystery of the Torah. Yeah. Yaakov has to battle. The short answer is Yaakov has to battle with his identity. He's the truthful. Yeah, he's the truthful one, and he keeps being put in these situations where he has to do things. It's not very different than what we're going through right now in Israel, right? It's just we don't want to do any of this, but Hashem keeps putting him in these situations, very difficult situations.
So who would we want more?
Nobody more. Yaakov is perfect, and then Yosef is even better. Huh? Good.
For Yosef did so well.
Yosef was like
Yeah, I mean, we can't look up to that. I mean,
he's the model. Speaking about Yosef, Yosef has the test of the wife of Potiphar, of his master's wife. What does the pasuk say? She kept asking him to sleep with her, and he kept saying no, absolutely not. Vayhi kedabera elav yom yom. That's what the pasuk says. Vayhi kedabera elav yom yom. As she spoke with him about it every day, yom yom. Whenever the Torah uses two words, the same words twice, it means all consistently, every day. She didn't stop. Vayhi kedabera elav yom yom. Finally, it got so hard that Al-Shich asked a question. He said, it's not fair. Why the Yetzer Hara can come to you every day? Yom, yom. Every day, the Yetzer Hara keeps going. He never gives up. He's relentless. The Yetzer HaTov, he tells you one time, go to shul. You put the snooze button, he's gone. He's done. You're finished. He left. Why doesn't he come also? Yom, yom. And there's a beautiful answer. I don't know if Al-Shich wrote it. I don't even remember who I read it in the name of Al-Shich. Says, I think it was Rapam, so let's give him the credit. The Yetzer Hara, he's selling fake merchandise. He's got to be a great salesman. The Yetzer HaTov, the product should sell itself. The product should sell itself. The goodness should sell itself. I don't need to sell you on it. I tell you one time, take this product. Go to shul. It's good for you. No. If you can't see that it's good for you, I tried once or twice, I'm done. The Yetzer Hara, he keeps pushing at it because it's just falsehood. How do you know? How did Yosef know that she was bad for him? She came to him not with just physical claims. She came to him with spiritual claims. She said, I see in the stars that you and I are soulmates. We are meant to be together. And she actually had a point. Just it was her daughter that he was with, not her. But she saw that they were mates, they were together. So how did he fight this? And the answer is, the fact that you're coming to me every single day, yom yom, tells me you're no good for me. If you were good for me, you'd try once or twice and leave me alone. And this is a very deep point when it comes to our lives. The things that are the worst for us are very popular. The things that are the worst for us, they keep coming in our feed. That's how you know it's not good for you. There's a story they say in Europe, I forget which yeshiva, and I forget which Rosh Yeshiva. But there was a yeshiva there in Europe right by the start of the Reform movement. And there was these rabbis, sometimes these rabbis come and visit the schools. This one rabbi came to the school with papers and flyers, and the kids would just flock to him every single time. One time, the mashgiach, he comes and he asks the boys, "Where are you all going?" They said, "Oh, this rabbi's here. He's amazing. He has these flyers that his hidushim are unbelievable." He said, "Everybody left. There's nobody in the Beit Midrash. Every single person went to see him." He said, "Every person. We love him." He says, "Can I see the stack of papers?" He takes them, he throws them in the garbage. He said, "You didn't even read it." He says, "I don't have to read it." The very fact that every single kid left the Beit Midrash to go wait online to kiss this guy's hand tells me he's no good. If he was a true rabbi, half the place would not go kiss his hand. There would be a Yetzer Hara. Why is there no Yetzer Hara to go see him? Yetzer Hara's on vacation. If he was good, there should be hard to go see him. There should be a resistance. There's no resistance. If there's no resistance, it's a red flag. And that's a deep one for us. If there's no resistance, if something is too good and it's too easy, it's a red flag. What's best for us a lot of time is what's hard for us. Adam le'amal yulad. We're down here to work. I had also in my school almost a similar story actually. When I was in yeshiva, we had this Kabbalah rabbi. He would read your palms, and everybody was waiting online. I said, "Get me away from this guy. I don't want to go near him." Why? He reads your palms. He tells you exactly which Tehillim you should read. I said, "Please." It turns out it was maybe 10 years later when I saw a story. He was locked up. He got arrested for fraud, and I think he was doing some funny business with like not good things also to kids. And I was like, well, I knew that rabbi was too popular to be good. It's too weird. No one's running to say, "Give me the Talmud Bavli. Look at the stuff in the Gemara. Oh my God, it's amazing. I can't put the book down." No one's doing it. It's on the shelves. It's empty all day long. Besides for the time of Minha and Shachrit, the shul's empty. Why? People should be flocking to read the Torah. We know the Torah is good. No, because there's something called Yetzer Hara. He's trying to hold you back. And so, you have something? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yes. What's her name? Abatia? Talia Haya Bat Leah. She should have a refuah shlema. If I'm not mistaken, she used to come to the shiurim sometimes. No, am I mixed? She should have a refuah shlema amongst all the other people. And so sometimes when you see something so popular, you may want to stay away for a little bit and just be on guard and make sure it's good. If it's too popular, every single day, look outside and turn on the news and see what everyone loves. If the universities all love the same thing, that's a clear red flag that thing has got no Yetzer Hara. Everybody's just running to it. You should probably just run the opposite way of the way everyone else in the world is running, and then you'll arrive at a good place. One more on the Pirasha. The Pirasha begins, it says, Vayeshev Yaakov. Yaakov lived, he dwelled, be'eretz migurei aviv, be'eretz Canaan. It's a very well-known Rashi. It's the first Rashi in the Pirasha. Vayeshev Yaakov, Bikesh, continue, Bikesh, Bishalva. He wanted to live Bishalva, which in English we would say, he wanted to relax. That's what Yaakov wanted to do. Yeah, he said, no. He said, "You want to relax? I'm not going to let you relax." No. Kafat alav, right? If you want to relax, you wanted to relax before, I gave you Lavan. You wanted to relax after Lavan, I gave you Esav. You wanted to relax after Esav, I gave you Dinah. You want to relax after Dinah, I give you Yosef. You're not relaxing. Relax in the next world, Yaakov. But yesterday, all he wanted to do is relax. By the way, relax doesn't mean smoke a cigarette for Yaakov. It means to study. It means to meditate on Hashem. No, you can't do that. It's a very well-known Rashi. Rav Shimon Schwab says, living requires action. The second we start relaxing and there's the lack of action in our lives, there's no challenges, there's no tests, that's not called living. That's not a life. True living means it never ends. There's always something. It's the next level Whether it's physical in our physical years, or it's emotional or psychological in our later years, we always have to keep pushing through the next test. And if it's not us in the beginning years, it's our kids, and then it's something with the grandkids. It's always going to be something. But that's called living. It's better than being not living.
But we chose this somehow, right?
Somehow. Not really.
No?
If you look at a video game, for example, when I was younger, I used to love them. Playing the video game, trying to beat each level, is a thrill. When you finally win the game, when you beat the whole game, there's this like empty feeling like, now what? What do I do now? I beat the game. It's over. I said, you know what? Let's see if I can do it in faster time this time. Okay. You beat the game 3, 4, 5 times. Now what? If you can't buy any more games for that console, whatever you used to call it. When I was a kid, we used to have the Game Boys, the gray Game Boy. If you can't buy any more games, and that's the only game you have, and you keep on beating it every single time, it's going to end up in the garbage. There's literally no point playing the game. It's too easy. That's life. The second you run out of things and challenges is the second where you're done in this world. So we don't want to run out of challenges. There's a beautiful pshat, and again, I forget who said it. This is the second time today. I forget the rabbi who said it, but I just love it. Moshe, you ready for this one? Yosef HaSadiq, he's in jail, and he sees his 2 buddies have very similar dreams. Yadi, can I have a Chumash if you don't mind? They have 2 very similar dreams, the butler and the baker. The same number in the dreams, 3 baskets. And he interprets their dreams the opposite ways. Ever wonder about this? How did Yosef, thank you, how did Yosef know which way each dream would go? They're almost the same dreams. You're going to live, you're going to die. In 3 days, Paro is going to raise up your head and keep your head. And in 3 days, he's going to raise your head and chop it off. Like, how do you, and hang from the gallows? How does he know which way to go? No, such a beautiful pshat.
With the mashke, it was an outside force. It wasn't.
Very simple. That's where we're going with this. Very good. Listen to this. The butler tells him, in my dream, there were, let's do the English, it's easier. The butler says, in my dream, there was a grapevine, and there were 3 tendrils, and it was budded. It blossomed and ripened into grapes, and the cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, I pressed them into his cup, and I placed the cup into Paro's palm. That's dream number 1. You will live. Dream number 2, the baker's dream. The baker says, "3 wicker baskets on my head. In the top basket were all kinds of food, and the birds were eating them from the basket above my head." How do you know which guy's going to live and how do you know which guy's going to die? The butler is doing things in his dream. I am pressing the grapes. I put them in the cup. I put the cup in Paro's hand. I'm doing things. You're a doer, you will live. The baker, there's a basket on my head. There's bread in the basket. Don't know how it got there. I didn't put it there. There's birds eating from the basket. I didn't feed the birds. Oh, you're just sitting there basically like a vegetable on the couch, and everything is happening to you in the dreams. Your life is over, my friend, because your doing has ended. It's a beautiful pshat, and how he knew which way the dreams would go. And then if you look at what he tells the butler, this is also a nice pshat. He says, remember me. Please remember me when you get out, and tell Paro to get me out of here. What are the words he uses? He says, in 3 days, Hashem will raise your Paro will raise your head out of here, and return you to your post, which is very odd, especially in those days. If you did something against the king, you should be dead. If you're lucky enough to be in jail, and you're lucky enough to get out of jail, you're never going back to the previous job. You'll get exiled maybe somewhere. If you're not exiled, he let you home. If you're luckier to let you in the palace, but you're the janitor, to go back to the original job that you had, it's sort of like an admission of guilt that the king says, I should never have fired you. It's very rare. You're going to have your original post. You're going to put the kaf of paro on his hand. Ki im zechartani itecha. Ki. In the English it says, if only you would think of me. Ki im zechartani itecha. Ki has a few meanings. Ki can mean when. Ki can mean because. It can mean if. Ki im zechartani itecha. Let's try all the ways. If you remember me. Well, it says ki im. Im is also if. So ki im, the if doesn't work. Ki can be when. Ki im zechatani. When, if you remember me, it doesn't work. Ki im zechatani itecha. Because if you remember me, says Rabbi Fran, he tells him as part of his interpretation, it's not an added favor to get me out of here. Part of my interpretation is, how do I know you're getting out? Because there's a reason you need to get out of here. There's something you have to do. Because im zechatani, you need to remember me and get me out of here. You're only leaving to do something else for the world, which is pulling me out of here. Because Egypt needs me. And so it's all about action. I see action in your dream, which means your job is not done on earth. What job do you have to do? You got to get me out of here. So I'm not asking you to get me out. Because the reason you're getting out is to pull me out. Otherwise, you'd be dead just like the baker. Life is not to sit down and relax. Life is to have challenges and to overcome the challenges.
Why was he punished for 2 years?
So the way he asked, they criticized the way he asked. He pleads with him. He doesn't just say, Kim zechatani, remember me. He says, I didn't do anything. Spare the tears. Just, what's your request? He's appealing to his emotion. Vizkartani, remember, he went overboard.
To a person.
He, on his level, to a person, he went overboard. Remember me? No.
Say rather than Hashem.
Right. He was supposed to do hishtadlut.
Right.
Hishtadlut. Kim zekatani. Remember me? No. I feel so bad for me. I was stolen. I didn't do anything.
Why did you do this?
Vizkartani. What?
Somewhere that
He wants to get out on a very basic level. He wants to get. It's true, but on his level, he wanted to.
On another level, there's the whole thing. I think says about because Yosef was tzaddik. He knew he should have bitachon. There are different levels of bitachon. He said, he missed the level of bitachon. He had bitachon. He knew it was supposed to happen, but he thought his ishtadlut was to say all of these things, and that was his shortcut.
Yeah. Ishtadlut is just to say that one statement, and that's it.
And he went over.
He went overboard. As he worked, listen.
In other words, he had he had to say what he had to say, but he didn't have to be, I was going to do nothing and this and that. And that was the one thing he should have. One of my old jobs a few years ago, me and my brother-in-law used to work together, and they used to have late night Thursdays till 9 p.m. And I used to tell my brother-in-law, this is not hishtadlut. We're not there. I'm not there anymore. This is not hishtadlut. Hishtadlut is what a normal 9 to 5. Now it's not 9 to 5. Okay, 8 to 6, whatever you call it. That's hishtadlut. 9 p.m. at night is not hishtadlut. I'm sorry. It's not hishtadlut. It's overboard. You have to draw the line. Same thing with Yosef. It's not hishtadlut. Kim zechatani. Remember me. You asked the guy. Now leave it alone. Feel bad for me.
Well, but if I may, I think the whole world is probably going to be tough on right now. But bitachon is, my understanding now, I'm sure but it's an actual physical thing that you have to do. So you have to actually rely. So if you say more, then you're actually relying on the person or yourself. You think yourself might give the right word that this will somehow happen.
Right.
And it's so hard.
It really is. Bitachon means putting your emunah to the test. It's walking the walk. Yeah, it's impossible. It's a lifelong work. It's very hard. And so Rav Pam says, we do what we need to do. We need action. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Like we said yesterday, if you were here in the daytime, it doesn't matter if it looks, the odds are with you. It doesn't matter. Take action and do it. You have to try. Sitting around is not the answer. Chanukah is a perfect example, like we said yesterday. The Hashmonaim, just a few rabbis, they say, what are we supposed to do? Sit by and watch, or stand up and do something? And who really got them going? If you look at the Midrash of Chanukah, it's the daughter. It was the sister of the Maccabim who started the whole thing. It was always the sister. It was always women. Or the Arizal says, it's a question of what her name was. Yehudit is one of the options. By the way, one of the reasons why I named my daughter Yehudit is because of her. That's what one of the Midrashim say her name was. The Arizal writes, and the Arizal says, every galut and every geulah in history has always been women, except for the final one. The final one will be a man. That's what the Arizal writes. And the answer is because women are in reproduction. With women, it's never ending. It's always a cycle. And so that means it's not final, there's more coming. When the man is very final. And so the last one has to be man and the male source, because that's it, no more after this. But if you go back in time to history, it's always been the women. Egypt, it was the women. It was the Yocheved and her. There's a question. The other person was who didn't kill the children. And also Batya, Arizal says, Batya saved Moshe. If not for her, what would have happened? Or Bitya, really, her name should be. If not for her, what would have happened? And you go through each one. Esther and Chanukah also, it was the sister of the Maccabim. On her wedding night, it says in the Midrash, Tamar also, it says in the Midrash that on the night of her wedding, they had a rule that on the night of her wedding, she had to go with the general first. Before the wedding, she has to go with the general. And so as they show up to take her away, she stands up on the table. The Midrash says this. She stands up on the table in her wedding gown, and she tears the gown off. She tears off her clothes in front of everybody. And her brothers, they said, hey, you can't do that. As we say in Arabic, aib. It's not nice. She said, what's aib? What's not nice? I take my clothes off? That's not nice. But when everyone knows what he's going to do to me in half an hour from now, that's nice. If you're not okay with this, how could you be okay with that? You guys have to get some guts. You guys have to grow a pair, as they say. And so the 5 brothers, they got up and they took care of business. Action. How do we do the action? Where do we start? I might have shared this idea with you a couple of years ago in Chanukah. I don't remember. But it's a beautiful idea. The Gemara on Masechet Shabbat, which talks about Chanukah, they ask a question, and it says, now they used to light the Chanukah candles outside the door. Some people still do it today outside. When they did that, the question was, which side of the door should the Ner Chanukah go? On the right side or the left side? So Rabbaha says, the right side. Well, you don't have to do that much.
Facing the door,
on the same side of the mezuzah. Rabbaha says the right side. Shemuel says the left side. By the way, Shemuel, small, the same letters. Shemuel says yet small, the left side. Halakha is like Shemuel. Why? Why does Shemuel say put it on the left side? Because you want to be surrounded with misvot. And she explains, what's so funny? Shemuel is small? Ah, you're lefty. There you go. Shemuel is small. Okay. Are you small? No, you're tall. You're small. S-M-A-L-L. Shemuel, so that she says, when you walk in the house, you're going to have the mizuzah on the right side. You know, the menorah on the left side. It's beautiful. It's surrounded by mitzvot. However, the Ben Ish Chai takes it up a notch. Some of you guys might know this already. The Ben Ish Chai says, Im yesh mezuzah. By the way, what if there's no mezuzah in the house? What if there's no mezuzah in the house? Should you move it to the right side? Yes.
We should have.
Yeah.
What if there is no mezuzah? Then you light it on the right side.
Because it voids is.
It ruins the whole reason. Says the Ben Ish Chai, if there's no mezuzah, then you put it on the right side. Im yesh mezuzah. If there is a mezuzah, says the Ben Ish Chai, yani hena biyamin. Then put in Chanukah on the right side. V'im yesh mezuzah, yani hena b'small hanichnas. If there is a mezuzah, put it on the left side, so you have surrounded והרי שלושה מצוות ביחד. You have 3 mitzvot altogether. There's a concept called והחוט המשולש לא במהרה יינתק. A triple knot will never get undone. 3 mitzvot together, that's why they say, if a person and his children and his grandchildren are keeping Torah mitzvot, they'll never leave the family. There's a triple knot. Lo b'mira yinatek. So it says the Vayeshev, Shilosha mitzvot b'yahad. You have 3 mitzvot. Because if the man of the house walks in wearing his tzitzit on him, that's a mitzvah on his body in the middle. So I walk in, I have my tzitzit, and on the right side I have the mezuzah, and on the left side I have the Chanukah. Tzitzit is Sadiq, the mezuzah is Mem, the Chanukah is Het, Semach. Semach is the name of Mashiach. It was yesterday's Haftarah, the Abdi Semach. Semach is Mashiach's name. It says in Vayeshev, if we can all do this, the men of the house, ladies, if you're husbands, don't wear tzitzit, force them to wear tzitzit. Homework. It's so important for every man to wear tzitzit. Men, if you're not wearing tzitzit, get tzitzit today. In the zechut of this, we bring Mashiach Sekenu. And you'll fulfill the pasuk, Pithu Shaarey v'yavo goy sadiq. Open the door, and the gate, and the sadiq will come in. Okay. Says the Sefer. What's the name of the Sefer? Ma'ayan HaMoed. Says Sefer Ma'ayan HaMoed. Got to make sure we do what the Vayeshev says exactly. The Vayeshev says you spell the word Tzemach, which is Mashiach. By the way, Mashiach also is Chanukah. Mashiach is Madikin Shemonat Yemei Chanukah. Mashiach. We light the 8 candles of Chanukah. Mashiach is Chanukah. Yeah.
But other than that, we have no sources because Tzemach, we have all the sources that says Tzemach.
Mashiach is very rare.
Mashiach, we
In the
this one, I don't think.
it says Mashiach. Kodesh is called Mashiach. Kodesh, the non-Jew.
Part 2 is in there. Is it Peretz or something?
Aretz. Yesterday's parasha. Yesterday's parasha. The great grandfather of David. That's no excuse.
Part 2 is.
Well, Ufarsu means they broke.
Right.
But yeah, Peretz was named Peretz. Paretz was named Paretz because he broke through. It's yesterday's parasha. His brother came first. His brother came back, and he broke out. He won the race.
Peretz has to do with Mashiach.
Yeah, Peretz is the great grandfather of David. Yeah. Peretz, literally the person.
Yeah.
Peretz is the great grandpa of David.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why in Lecha Dodi we say Ben Parsi. Right? How does it go before that? What are the words we say before that? Kumi, no. How does it go? Ben Parsi. What are the words right before it? No. I don't know. How does it go? Ben Parsi. Hey, guys ever do Lecha Dodi Friday night? We sing about Ben Parsi. That's David Amelech. Now you're too far down. Okay, ready? The Ma'ayan HaMoed says, make sure we do what the Vayeshev says. Because if you don't do what the Vayeshev says and you flip the order the other way around, and you do Chanukah, and then you do Mezuzah, and then you do the Tzitzit, you spell the word Hametz. And Hametz is the opposite of Mashiach. Now, what does this mean? Says my Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Dweck. How do we work on improving the world? Chanukah, we're lighting up the world. The proper way to do it is Semach, the way the Vayeshev tells us. Tzitzit goes on your body. First, you. Fix yourself first. After you finish yourself, Mem, the mezuzah, fix your house. You take care of your family. After you did you and your family, light up the street, Chanukah, take care of the world. That spells the word Tzemach, and that will bring Mashiach. But if you flip it around and you do the opposite and you say, no, first I'm going to make sure the whole street's lit up. I'm going to make sure everyone else is religious and doing the right thing before me. So Chanukah first, and then I'll take care of my house, which is the Mem. And lastly, I'll take care of myself, Hametz. We take care of ourselves first. So we want to light our lives inside out, not outside in. Now, if you look at the Gemara of the mitzvah of lighting candles, there are 3 levels to candle lighting Chanukah. The mention notice. The first level, the basic mitzvah of lighting candles, is Ner Ish Ubeto. 1 candle for a person's house. That's the basic level. If anybody here lights 1 candle tonight, you have fulfilled the mitzvah of Chanukah. Level 2, if you want to take it up a notch, is called Mehadrin. Those who glorify the mitzvot. What is level 2? 1 candle for every member of the house every night. 1 candle, doesn't matter which night of Hanukkah it is. Every member of the house gets 1 candle. This is the Gemara says is the second best level. The third level, which we all do on Hanukkah, is called Mehadrin Mina Mehadrin. It's the glorifiers of the glorifiers, the best. What is that? It's we light 1 candle for each night, and we go up or down, depending if you hold like Bet Shammai. Bet Shammai holds, you light 8 the first night, then 7 the second night, then 6, then 5. Bet Hillel holds the opposite. You do 1 the first night, 2, 3. We hold like Bet Hillel. Hanukkah, by the way, is the only holiday and the only time of the whole year that every Jew, no matter how religious they are, is mahmir, does the best of the best. No one lights 1 candle. Even the person who's married to a non-Jew is lighting with the Christmas tree a full menorah. No one lights 1 candle. Hanukkah is a special time. We all do mehadrin mina mehadrin, the best of the best. You go to the car wash in Fashion Square, best of the best, and the best car wash? No, best of the best. Says the Sifat Emet. Mehadrin, the first level, is Ner Ishu Beto. You light yourself up only. The second level is Mehadrin. You light your family up. 1 for each person in the house. The third level, Mehadrin Mina Mehadrin, you light up the street and you tell everyone which night of Hanukkah it is, so everyone walking by can know. It's the same lesson from the Ma'ayan HaMo'ed, from the Ben Ish Chai, as it is from the Sifat Emet. We start with ourselves and we light ourselves up. That's called Hadad. Hadad Kevod Hodecha, he says. We say it in Ashrei. Hadad Kevod Hodecha, the glory of the honor. Hadad. Level 1, light yourself up. When you're finished, level 2, light up your whole house. Don't just be the only guy in your house. Light up the children. And lighting up the children doesn't mean preach to the children. It means demonstrate to them what it means to live a good life. That's Hadad Kevod. You want to do Hadad Kevod Hodecha, the full 3 Mehadrin Mina Mehadrin. When you finish 1 and 2, light up the street. Mehadrin Mehadrin is light up the street and show everyone in the street what night of Hanukkah it is. Like I said, Hanukkah is the time where we're all on level 3. Now, we may not be at level 3, so that means you got to work really fast on level 1 and level 2, because we are focusing on level 3. The whole world, and the Jewish world, is already. And so tonight, when we light 4 candles for Hanukkah, we're telling the entire world, tonight is the 4th night of Hanukkah. We're lighting up the world. All we have to do left is work on ourselves, take it inside out. Light ourselves up. How do we light ourselves up? With the lessons we learned. First of all, what's good for you, what's bad for you? If it's too easy, is there a Yetzer Hara? This is going to be the hardest one for sure, if you think about it during the week. Every activity we do, we say, do I have a Yetzer Hara telling me not to do this? No. No one's telling me not to watch the Netflix. Why? Where's the Yetzer Hara? Where has he gone? Does he approve of this activity? If he approves of it, why do I approve of it? Once we work on what we're doing, we light our own lives up. We light our children's lives up. We will light up the whole street. Action. We'll take action and we'll light up everyone. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Action is way better than inaction. Chanukah Sameach, everyone. We'll see you next time.